Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wa sallallahu wa sallama ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Today is the 14th episode of Why? Sincere Questions, Sincere Answers. And today's question is, why didn't Muslims make the modern world? Um, Okay, so let's look at this question a little bit more carefully. Why didn't Muslims make the modern world? Let's understand what is meant by modern world. So when somebody asks this question, why didn't Muslims make the modern world? The thing that comes to their mind is a city with skyscrapers and clean streets and modern looking cars and aeroplanes that fly high in the sky and medicine with which we can cure diseases. So when we think of the modern world, these are the kinds of things that we think about. And when we think, and the thing that we contrast this with is the state of many Muslim countries, where many Muslim countries, they're poor, they're part of what is called the third world. So when people ask this question, why didn't Muslims make the modern world? The question that underlies this, that they're asking is, why didn't Muslims make short-term material prosperity? Now, they don't think about it in this way. When they say, why didn't Muslims make the modern world? They don't think about the issue by thinking about the prosperity of the modern world as being a short-term prosperity. What there normally what lies in the background of this question is an emphasis on the material prosperity of this world and a de-emphasis on the prosperity in the next life. So why didn't Muslims make the modern world? This is a question about why Muslims, Muslim countries all over the world, most Muslim countries, not all of them, but many Muslim countries all over the world are less developed. They have their manufacturing base is smaller, their wealth is less. Why is that the case? Why aren't Muslims rich and powerful and developed like countries where Islam is not dominant? Why is that the case? So so let's rephrase the question. And instead of saying, why didn't Muslims make the modern world? Let's ask the question, why aren't Muslims the reason for the material prosperity of developed nations? Let's make that our question. Actually, let's make one more modification. Let's change Muslims to Islam, because Muslims are a part of the society of developed nations, and they contribute economically, and they are the reason, or they're part of the reason for the material prosperity of many developed nations. Let's change Muslims to Islam. Why isn't Islam the reason for the material prosperity of developed nations? So instead of looking at the question, why didn't Muslims make the modern world? Let's look at the question, why isn't Islam the reason for the material prosperity of developed nations? So let's look at some verses of the Quran. An important verse that I want you to take away from this class, and we've seen this in previous lessons as well, is بَلْ تُؤْثِرُونَ الْحَيَاةَ الدُّنْيَا وَالْآخِرَةُ خَيْرٌ وَأَبْقَى, which means, but instead you prefer the life of this world, even though the afterlife is better and more enduring. So when we look around and we go to a country where Muslims are in a minority, and maybe they don't have a prominent part in society, and the culture is a culture that is very different from Islamic culture, and we find that the streets are clean, the cars are new and shiny. Um, we find that there are tall skyscrapers. We find modern technology. We find all of the amenities of modern life. This is one picture that I want all of you to put in your mind. Let's take another picture. Let's say that we go to another country, a Muslim, some country that is predominantly Muslim. Maybe for let's take Egypt. Let's take Cairo. So if you've been to Cairo, Cairo is overpopulated. Um, the streets are congested. There's pollution in the air. The cars are old and dusty. The streets are um, the streets aren't clean. Um, so uh, okay, just a second. So there's an issue that my slides aren't showing up in the video. Let me a second. Hold on to that image for a second. One second.